welcome back to the channel. So I was replacing one of my coolant sensors, and I had the question of which sensor does what. And a lot of these people are in the forums or on Facebook, they're always like, oh, that question gets asked 100 times a day. And I thought, that's a pretty good video. Why don't we cover the most common questions I see asked every day about the Sn95 Mustangs? Now this video will cover the 4.6 cars. So basically the 4.6 is the same platform that is used in the Crown Vic, the Town Car, Explorer, a few other things, but they are known to be super reliable. There's taxi cabs with over 300,000 miles still driving around on the stock 4.6. Now when you start throwing nitrous to them or supercharging them and stuff, yeah, there are limits about 450 on the bottom end with a safe tune. Now with a bad tune, you probably won't get 350. But I'm going to cover some of the most important questions I had. Now the first one I'm going to cover is on the 96 to 98 cars. There's two coolant sensors. People want to know which one does what. The one on the passenger side is for your gauge. Okay, the one on the driver's side is for your ECU. The way I try to remember that is the driver's side is the most important side. You drive the car won't move without you behind the wheel pretty much. So the driver's side is the important side for the ECU. Another way to tell is if you undo the sensor and nothing happens, then that's for your gauge. If you undo the sensor and the fans kick on shortly after, that's for your ECU. So if the car's running and I unplug this sensor right here, regardless of what temperature it's at, it's going to throw a failsafe and kick the fans on because it don't know what temperature your engine's at. Another common question I see and I get asked a lot is, can you delete your EGR? Normally I have EGR sitting right there. I've deleted all mine. Yes, you can delete it. You get these naysayers that say there's all these bad side effects and stuff. The EGR recycles bad waste pretty much from the exhaust. It recycles it back through your car. So you're basically putting dirty air back through your car. Now they say your engine's designed to run this way, so by bypassing it, you're causing a side effect of low fuel mileage. I didn't notice any difference in fuel mileage when I did mine, and I dogged this car pretty good, so I would have noticed fuel mileage dropping that dramatically, even on daily trips and stuff like that. I seen no side effect whatsoever, and I'm happy I've got all that room back there now. Another thing that I see very often is, what is this box? So basically, if this is a straight round piece going there, they found out that it creates a certain velocity which will make your idle control sensor whistle. So this box is to kind of create a little bit of turbulence and slow down the incoming air and outgoing air so there is no whistle. That is my understanding, and a lot of people say they've taken that off and they do have a whistle, but it does not bother them. Over here I see this probably, I don't know, 10 times a week. It's always this wire right here. Where does this go? That's your ground for signal interference for your injectors. You can ground it pretty much anywhere. I just, because my EGR and stuff's deleted, I just put it right on that stud. It's normally supposed to be on the fuel rail stud, but for some reason mine don't have a stud on the fuel rail. It's just got bolts. But normally one of these are a stud, and it clips right on there. Another very common question I see for the 96 to 98 cars is, can I go to coil unplug? Yes, you can. Is there a benefit to it other than cleaning up the engine bay? Actually, no. These coil packs have a higher saturation rate. They're more beneficial. They're more efficient, per se. Not to say that the other ones are bad. People make power on them. But if you're doing it for a performance increase, stay with these. If you're doing it to clean up the engine bay, yeah, they have a conversion harness and everything. Mustang Park Trooper sells them like candy, pretty much. I mean, they're in and out. So All it does is change the harness and do the coil and plug. It's plug and play, very simple. Here in the trunk, my trunk is pretty much gutted. If you notice over here, there's wires and stuff. Well, most people, it's behind this, and they've never seen over here before. So they're taking this out and they see a plug that nothing's plugged into, and they want to know what it is. This right here goes to the Mach system that's normally up here. And then right here, all of this right here is like your keyless entry and PATs and stuff like that. Mine doesn't have it, but it does have some kind of box on the other side, but that's where those are found. Right in here, this is your inertia cutoff switch. So again, this is keyless entry and stuff. This is your inertia switch. This is for a Mach system if you have it. It's for the amps and stuff that are back here. Obviously mine's deleted. If you didn't have that, you might still have the harness for it. This is the wiring, of course, for your trunk. On the interior, I see asked all the time, will New Edge seats fit in my 96 to 98 car? Well, S197 seats fit. With enough fabrication, any seat will fit. You can get Dodge Viper seats in here. But for a straight bolt on, the New Edge seats bolt right in. It's basically the same exact car on the interior. The door panels, the pulls, everything can be switched over to these cars. The center console from a New Edge with a dual cup holder can be put in these cars. I had one for a little bit, but I like the way this is black and it matches better. Another common thing that I see is there's a ground wire, a vacuum line right here. You can see right there. When that's unplugged, that goes through the firewall, that controls your AC vents. If that is unplugged, you only have, like, I think defrost or floor or something like that. You cannot change your AC setting as far as where it goes. You can change it to heat, the cold, but this right here is for the vents. So if you have this wire hanging, that's why. If you have no AC or heat, it probably doesn't matter, but you will have a vacuum leak off your intake here. Another question is whether you have the Mach system or not, or the front door speakers. They always ask, what size is it? Everybody goes out and buys a 6x9 for some reason, when even on the box it does not say Ford. Ford is 6x8. So 6x8 in the doors, 6x8 up here. I've heard the 6.5 have the same mounting area. They're just a round speaker, but I've always ran just 6x8s. No, you cannot put the interior from the convertible in to run speakers there without some pretty good modification. I often see the question, are these functional, or can you make them functional? Well, on the 94 to 95 cars, they are actually functional. They go through and they come out of a little hole back here, and it was supposed to help cool the brakes, but I don't think it ever did. But yes, you can make them functional, but I don't know why you would. And probably the most common question I see every day, and it shouldn't bug me, but it does. What oil do you run in your Mustang? You get so many oil experts. Listen, go to Blackstone. You can look at the reports of oil. All these people are, oh, I'll run Royal Purple. Royal Purple is trash oil. I've seen Blackstone test where SuperTech scores higher than Royal Purple. The higher stuff like HP2 or HP3 where they have the center like in it, it is better oil. But they're store-bought $8, $9 a friggin' quart. Yeah, it's trash. I run Pennzoil Platinum. That don't mean you have to. I run 1030. Most people say, oh, the manufacturer suggests 530. Run what you feel comfortable. You're not going to damage an engine, especially something this old, by putting a 1030 versus a 530. It's not going to happen. A lot of people, I did it on my Fox Buddy, love to run diesel oil. Rotella 1540, Delo Isocin 1540. It's high in zinc. It is great for these engines. You didn't hear it from me, but I never had an issue. It's full of zinc, and zinc is one of the top proprietary additives for friction. It's a friction modifier. On the Blackstone testing, the Pennzoil Platinum is the only one, Pennzoil Platinum Ultra, is the only one that rivaled Amsoil. Amsoil is, it's not just a gimmick, it is the best, and it is the best for a reason. But Pennzoil is making big waves, and the fact that they use natural gas as their base, it is 99% impurity free. Nobody else can say that. You would take a lot of refining to get a base oil that is 99% free from crude oil that is from the ground. It would take a lot. One of the last things I do want to cover on these cars, I still see it. I figured it would be answered 1,000 times and everybody knew about it, but daily I hear my car is leaking water and I don't know where. There's water in the valley, I don't know where it's coming from. There's water at the back of the engine, I don't know where it's coming from. These cars are notorious for the intake cracking around this area and leaking. They're notorious for right here where the line goes into the intake right here for the heater core. It's a plastic nipple. It, over time, so many heat cycles, it gets brittle and it breaks off, and all this will be flooded, water will be dripping down. If there's water in the valley, it's usually here or here. I do have a video on how I think you could bulletproof these intakes, and I really think it'll work. I'm actually saved one of my older intakes to do it too, to kind of prove that I think you can bulletproof these intakes. I get questions about the power steering fluid. Ford runs automatic transmission fluid. It is true, and I've had nothing but luck running automatic transmission fluid. I have switched to power steering fluid and I had a plethora of problems. I don't know why, I don't know what's so special about it, but yes, Ford uses automatic transmission fluid. And now probably the grand question that I see the most. Will the Mustang from a Crown Vic fit in my Mustang? If it's a 4.6 and go right cam, yes, because that's what Crown Vics came with. Will the 4.6 out of a F-150 fit? Yes, use your accessories. Will the 4.6 from, yes, they fit. All the modular 4.6s are the same. You might have to do the front accessories different or different valve covers, but the base of the engine is the same. Yes, a Crown Vic engine will fit in your car. That is the most common swap. People go with 04 up, so you get the 8-thread PI heads, you get a PI engine, and yes, they work in your car. No, you don't need a special tune. I see that every day, every single day. There's not on the forum, on Facebook, somewhere that someone is asking that question. It's very simple. If it's a 4.6 platform, even the aluminum ones, the Explorers people put in these, I would love to find one, but I still have my iron 4.6 right here, and I have PI heads in the shed out there. I have some Terminator rods. I do need to get a set of good pistons, and I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna party, that's for sure. One of the honorable mentions I will say is, can I fit this wide of tire on the back of my car? It's all relevant to your backspace and everything. This is a 17 by 10. I had an 18 by 10 and a half. I've ran up to 315 on the rear of this with my quad shocks. No rubbing, no fitment issues whatsoever. The deep dishes are 17s. They are 275s now, but when I bought it, they had 305s on it. No rubbing, no issues. So yeah, it all varies. I've seen people run up to a 335 with quad shocks deleted. I feel my car feels better to me with the quad shocks, so that's how I run it. So there we go. That's the most common questions I see. Put down in the comments if you see more common questions or something you see every day that you don't understand why people don't get the grasp of or something. I'm not trying to be rude, but a lot of these questions nobody wants to search, and I'm the type of person that I'd rather answer the question and say go search for it, because I know in my findings when I search through forums, there's a lot of dead links. They say, oh, it's fixed or found. They never tell you they never tell you the end result, and it's aggravating. It's very aggravating. So these, like I said, the most common issues that I have seen online. I see them all the time. And yeah, I hope this helps somebody with just a quick reference to common questions for these cars. And there's a lot more questions I see, but these just are the ones that just keep reoccurring like every single day.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't